The industry has become flabby, like a fat old Elvis. And where do you get that sort of washboard stomach feeling again from music? And part of the problem is, and there is something about, there's been something remedial, let's say, in the past couple of years in the so-called grunge movement, which been and gone in case you hadn't noticed. But the idea was that these bands could play again. These bands didn't make their records by going to the studio. The turnaround was like in the 70s and stuff like that. You had like your Foreigners, your bands that actually existed in the studio and really didn't mean much out of the studio. They were formula hit record kind of artists. The biggest problem is when bands get signed deals and they've never been seasoned by the road. They don't, and as soon as they have any success with records, well, then they don't have to be seasoned by the roads. They go out, and suddenly they're, with the huge riders, with the no brown M&Ms, and leading this kind of fantasy life, and it's because the record industry is skewed towards this heavily produced, formulaic, predictable thing. The record industry likes that. They like to be, any industry likes to know that. Any industry wants to know what the demand is for their product, how much to make of it, so they don't have excess inventory and things like that. So it's not unusual that they prefer it that way. But the problem is that is explicitly commercial art. That is explicitly art whose agenda is defined by the audience. So therefore, your expectations are always going to be somewhere in, what the average person thinks about music, not what a music specialist would ultimately resort to. And the only way that those things really reach the point that the audience can grow to accept them is if the performer has gained the confidence to know that what they're doing is absolutely right for them. And they perform it with that confidence. And that a lot of that has disappeared because of it's much easier to follow the formula and get into the business than to just say, well, this is what I want to sing about, and I'm going to go out there and sing it, and I don't care what the response is, it is all I care about.